5-point ball game as Blunt hits a pair of free throws. First time these two teams met, he had 26 points. The second time they met, he had 33. So 59 points between two games against this Delaware State squad.
Getting it done. And you got super sub Miles Carter in the game now. He had a big-time game last night.
Perkins gets it over in the corner. Kaiser with the three. C.J. Kaiser, junior out of Baltimore.
He's a young man that transferred from Wichita State, and it just took him a while to really get used to the system that Coach Moten was running, but he has definitely offensive skills.
And this is going to be a foul in the backcourt. It's going to be whistled against Amir Bennett. A little frustration foul. 15-48. We're in the first half of this contest, and it's the #1 seed Eagles of North Carolina Central trying to get to the semifinals on Friday, and they're leading the Hornets of Delaware State by 8.
At North Carolina Central University, we are a first-choice premier institution.
Along with Cy Alexander, Charlie Neal here at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. North Carolina Central with an 8-point advantage over the Hornets of Delaware State. This North Carolina Central team, it came right down to the last game of the regular season. Who was going to be #1, #2 between North Carolina Central and North Carolina A&T. That game played in Durham, and North Carolina Central came out victorious. That gave them the #1 seed, dropped A&T to #2.
Tell you what, it was an excellent game on ESPNU. About last Thursday, as a matter of fact, and it was a great game for the conference to have the regular season title come down to one game and it be nationally televised on ESPNU.
86-80 was the final score for Central to win that contest. Down low, there's a bounce pass, nice reverse, and puts it in. That's Watley, Justin Watley, redshirt sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Watley seemed like he was out of control, but was
no, it went down.
Went down.
That's all that matters, right?
All that matters.
From the corner, the three ball, no fall. Ty Graves grabs the rebound.
And what's happening is the 1-2-2 pressure is causing Delaware State to kind of get out of its game. They seem a little rattled right now.
That was Perkins with that last basket.
Like a deer in the headlights.
Crosby for 3-point range. Back of the iron, no good. Offensive rebound, and the putback that time by Trey Gross.
That's the man Gross, the football player.
Here's a turnover. Crosby pulls up with a short jumper, doesn't fall. Loose ball battle. Delaware State controls. Doesn't go in that time for Miles Carter. We're going to go the other way.
Now you see a little token pressure by the Hornets. 2-2-1. See what they drop back into.
Mike Melvin in the lineup now for Lavelle Moten with the ball in his hands.
Here, wide 1-2-2.
From the corner again, here's Kaiser. Back-to-back three, CJ.
It's an offense off the bench.
.13 lead right now for the Eagles. And another turnover. This Delaware State team came in averaging 14 turnovers per contest. North Carolina Central forcing 17 against their opponents.
And you can see, like I said, the Hornets just seem to be a little bit rattled to be in this position, playing the defending champs.
Turn around in the lane, and again, Kaiser. He's on fire right now.
On fire.
Third team all-conference selection. Mr. Kaiser, and Coach Skeeter says, hey, let's try to slow down this runaway train here. They're down by 15, 13-29 left in the first half.
Tell you what, they came out with a sense of urgency, have the Eagles from North Carolina Central University. shooting right at 80% from the field and 67% from the three-point line and 100% from the free throw line. That's why they're off to a 21-6 lead at the 13:29 mark.
Shooting 66%. No, 80%.
80% from the field.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and out of that 80%, you got Kaiser, who's 2 for 2 from 3, 3 for 3 overall.
You don't lose many games, Charlie, when you shoot 80%.
No, he's had 2 threes, and he hit just a regular short jumper.
They are playing with a lot of focus, laser focus, I like to call it.
Into the front court goes, and this one's knocked away defensively by Nick Fennell. Delaware State in their win yesterday shot 40% from the field, 31% from 3, which is pretty good. Nice pass off by Crosby.
Nice dish that time. Little
Pete Green,
drive.
yeah.
Exactly.
Pete Green got fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Pete Green out of Fairfield, Ohio, freshman.
He is the son of one of my former players at South Carolina State. Cliff Green was on my 95-96 NCAA tournament team. That's his son.
This one rims out for the 68% free throw shooter. 3 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists against Maryland Eastern Shore on yesterday. Second one is good.
Good pressure now by the Hornets.
No problem getting it in the front court. Melvin gets it over to CJ. Melvin down the lane. Gets it back over to Blunt. Blunt pulls up for the J right at the free throw line. And it doesn't fall for him. Here's Pinky Wiley. Crosby. Crosby working against CJ. They switch off and Blunt picks him up.
Good team defense right now, even though they're playing man.
Reverse doesn't fall. And Fennell with the rebound. In the corner. The 3 for Graves. Off the mark.
Nice look that time. That's when you take a 3 in transition.
Crosby. And defending him was Ty Graves, the redshirt senior from Greensboro.
Ty Graves had a heck of a high school career in Greensboro. I got a chance to watch him play quite a bit.
Good.
I was still coaching at
Christian
A&T.
Academy.
Exactly.
Yeah. High Point Christian Academy. He actually started his career somewhere else, didn't he?
College, I believe.
Then he went to St. Louis.
Right. He's been a few places.
Yeah. Mass communications major. Meanwhile, at the free throw line.
Highly acclaimed recruit coming out of high school.
Going to the sideline now is Pinky Wiley. Coming in is Leroy Moore for Delaware State. Meanwhile, second free throw coming for John Crosby, senior out of Polytech High in Baltimore. He makes them both.
Plays the game so easy offensively.
And that's what you like to see.
Yes.
I mean, there's another young man we saw last night also, C.J. Williams from
exactly.
Howard University.
See him in the second game tonight.
Howard came up with the big upset. So we've had 2 big upsets in this tournament. Howard with an upset last night. Earlier today, the ladies from Maryland Eastern Shore knocking off the #1 seed, Bethune-Cookman. Pull-up jumper by CJ. This one doesn't fall for it. Blunt with the offensive rebound. The put back and the 3 ball doesn't fall for Graves, but they get the ball back again on a new shot clock.
I'll tell you what, that was a grown man rebound that time by Blunt.
Spreading it out. Shot clock now down to 10 seconds. Knocked away. Still on the floor, battling for it. And they're going to call tie-up. Hell ball. And on the hell ball, North Carolina Central will get the ball to come back. That was the possession arrow favored them. And we have right now a 12-point ball game. North Carolina Central leading Delaware State 21-9. First round action for North Carolina Central. Winner goes on to the semifinals.
Matters, because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
At the Scope in Norfolk, that's where we are for this 2020 MEAC Basketball Tournament game. Winner goes on to the NCAA tournament. Those announcements will be made on Sunday. Championship game right here for both the men and the women on Saturday. Kind of interesting, the NCAA came out with a statement earlier today saying that championship games will only be played with essential personnel. They're not allowing fans to be part of the attendance.
Got a great out of bounds play that time. Blunt just missed the tap in. Nice little cross screen.
They're going to call a foul on Blunt.
Yeah, but I saw that on it came across my phone during our mid-game breaks, and I read exactly what you were talking. That's going to be very, very interesting to see how that all plays out. And I guess they're talking about the Final Four, too.
They said championship. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a championship.
Yeah, no doubt. That's amazing.
A lot of people have gotten tickets already. No basket. They call it travel.
Tough call that time on Crosby because he kicked it off the glass and it went in. That's 2 points that they didn't get. Skeeters is concerned with that call. He's working the official right now. Better be careful.
Frankie Bordeaux on that side. That's the official he was talking about.
Right.
CJ. Down low. Along the line is Fennell. Back out. Shot clock down to 3 seconds. And they get it to go with Perkins. Jordan Perkins putting it down.
This Perkins is off to a very good start. 2 for 2 from the field.
23-9 our score right now. Almost at the midway point of the first half. And that foul is going to be going against CJ Kaiser. Kaiser will come to the sideline right now. In to replace him is Devin Palmer. Palmer is a 6'4" junior. He's out of Hyde Park, Massachusetts. Transferred in from Tallahassee Community College. A lot of transfers on this Central team.
Right, and that's how Coach Moulton makes a living. Great hustle that time. And Leroy Moore.
Moore off the bench. And here's the 3-ball off the back of the iron. Offensive rebound by Pete Green. Up and at it. Carter. And off the bench goes Palmer for 2.
Nice look that time. Nice feed from Jordan Perkins. And again, Perkins is really percolating tonight. He's getting it done on the defensive end, making the right pass and hitting the shot. This is the time of the year that North Carolina Central really steps up. They are a tournament-tested team.
Moore, Pete Green go to the sideline now for Delaware State. Gross is back in there. Also in the lineup for Coach Skeeters and Janetto, along with Pinky Wiley and Crosby. Blocked. Here come the Eagles, and a foul will send Fennell to the free throw line.
Eagles are really getting up and down in their transition offense, trying to take advantage of 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, 4-on-3s, that sort of thing.
Fennell, redshirt sophomore out of Archbishop Carroll High in Bowie, Maryland. Sophomore rather, history major. (26-9). Delaware State, as a team this year, went 5-25 overall. Won only 4 conference games. Was 4-12.
Had a big win last night in the opening round against University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Right now, the Eagles are perfect from the free throw line, and now they're in a little half-court trap.
Down low, Gross missed an easy layup, and they're going to tie it up. And the possession arrow will favor Maryland Eastern Shore, Delaware State rather. We were just talking about Maryland Eastern Shore from last night. Delaware State.
Just what we talked about in the opening. A couple things that we said the Eagles would do, and one was defend and rebound, and they're doing an excellent job of that right now, and they're running their half-court set. What they're doing that I didn't say was that transition offense is really percolating.
Crosby. Missed shot. Comes down. They run it ahead to Perkins. Layup, good.
Perkins off to a great start tonight. That's a major plus when his offense is going like it is. 1-3-1 half-court set.
In the corner, Crosby, long three, no good. The defensive board by Palmer.
The defense is totally taking Delaware State out of its offensive rhythm.
Del State 3 of 21 from the field. That's 13%. Not a good shooting night for them.
You don't win many games shooting 13%. 2-3 zone now by the Hornets.
North Carolina Central shooting 61% from the field.
Coach Skeeter's trying to change up the defensive look to see if a zone will be better than the man, because the man hadn't been very effective.
Wide open for three is Fennell. Wide open. Nobody was near it. I was closer to him than
the Delaware State player was.
And I'm on the other side of the court.
Another steal.
Travel will be the call on Watley. There's a timeout, and it's been all Eagles of North Carolina Central, no doubt. Who's the #1 seed right now? They have a 23-point lead, and we're in the first half with 7:44 to go. Back with more from the Scope in a moment. Back here in Norfolk, we're at the Scope, and it's MEAC Basketball, the 2020 tournament. Got a chance to talk to Miss Hicks from Norfolk State after their game. They had a big win earlier today to advance to Friday semifinals. And I was telling her, I said, you know, you're only 2 steals away from the all-time conference record. She said, blame the coach. She was pointing right at Larry Vickers because he took her out with a lot of time left. But, of course, that was a smart move because you don't want to get her hurt, and you've got a commanding lead in that ball game.
He could care less about that record. He's worried about Friday.
That's right. Correct. There's no doubt about it. As Fennell picks up that foul.
And again, the changing defenses that the Eagles are utilizing. They go man, they go 1-3-1 trap, they go 2-3 zone, and they're denying, and they're making the Hornets work for every basket. Has really caused a lot of problems for the Hornets.
Crosby pull-up jumper, no good. Gross with the rebound offensively. Crosby going down the lane, dishes it off in the right corner.
No easy looks.
Not at all. And we're going to get a foul as Gross was trying to get the ball inside, and he was defended by Kobe Ayate. Also in the lineup for Delaware State is the 7'3", Chris Sodom, the 7'3" sophomore out of Washington, D.C., wearing number 21, as you see Jabri Blunt back in the lineup for North Carolina Central. 1-and-1 situation. That was the 7th team foul against North Carolina Central. So Gross will go to the free throw line for 1-and-1.
Gross had a nice game last night.
Yes, he did.
The bench.
14 minutes, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals.
Bring that football mentality of toughness.
He was a wide receiver on the football team for the Hornets of Delaware State. Didn't play any basketball until the season was over. And then, of course, came on and has done a pretty good job off the bench for Coach Eric Skeeters.
Gives them another athlete on the team that can do several different things.
And that's what you said, athlete. Not so much a great basketball player, but he's an athlete.
He's an athlete.
Jabri Blunt spins. 3-ball for the left-handed Perkins is good.
Tell you what, Perkins is really on his game offensively tonight. And that's a major plus. Again, you see the Eagles employing the 1-3-1 half-court trap.
Pinky Wiley in the corner. This is a 3-ball that's way off the mark. That time by Pete Green from the corner. This one won't fall for Palmer. Pinky Green. Crosby gives it inside. And that one's blocked or docked away. Gross takes it, reverses the layup. Here's the big fella. He didn't even have to jump.
He didn't even jump.
Sodom, the 7-3 with a two-handed slam.
He didn't even get off the floor that time. He just tiptoed it. Throw this thing down.
Can't teach height.
No, you can't, man. Trust me on that.
This is a 3 attempt for Palmer. And they're going to call a foul.
Sodom is making an impact right now.
And this is going to go against North Carolina Central. I'm looking at Everett Summers going over talking to him. It looked like he was talking to somebody on the second floor.
Right, talking to his chest.
Sodom at the free throw line. 3 of 9 at the line so far this season for him. He hasn't been there a lot.
Take a young man like that and make him live in the weight room this summer.
First game of the season came February 1st when they played Coppin State. He only played 10 games, including yesterday, and he hits the free throw.
Nice touch for a big guy.
As Coach Skeeter says, hey, we'll take him. Young man started at Georgetown, decided to leave, dismissed after 6 games, makes them both. Committed to George Washington in May, but left in August of 2018. Still had his eligibility left, and now he's making a living here in Dover. Well, he'll make you change your shot, won't he?
I tell you what.
Standing in there. That's an offensive foul. Let's see. Yes. Player control foul against Delaware State.
On that last play, Blunt was going to attack, and Sodom did not back up. Here it is right here on the replay.
Sure didn't.
Bring it on, big fella.
And here's the
Sodom said.
Here's the charge that's going to be whistled against Pete Green. 5-10. Counting down 5-15 rather. First half of play. C.J. Kaiser, who's been hot. This 3-ball, and that's good. Off the hands of Ty Graves. He's a 29% 3-point shooter. 38-14. 24-point lead. But that's short-lived.
The Eagles are cooking on all cylinders. Anytime you got Graves, Kaiser, Perkins all on the perimeter getting it done.
Here's C.J. Boy, I'll tell you.
They all cooking tonight, Charlie.
They certainly are. This is a team that was 7th in the conference in 3-point percentage. And they shot only 29% from 3-point range this year. Reverse layup. That falls that time for Miles Carter.
Tough move that time by Miles Carter. Reverse layup.
(41-18). You're working the first game tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Now they're cleaning up under the basket. Players hitting the floor for their own safety. 41-18 is our score, with 4:12 to go before the break. Ayate.
Walk that time.
Ayate, and they're going to call a foul.
He might have gotten away with a walk.
Ayate out of Ghana. He's a junior. Comes in at 6'6", and he's at the line.
But if they don't call it, I don't guess it's a walk.
Officials are telling Mr. Sodom, don't do a lot of talking. Just play.
Play the game.
We'll take care of everything else. So Ayate, who's only a 33% free throw shooter, hits the.
And I like the fact that Perkins is delivering the basketball. He got it right away and just reversed it and swung it to the open shooter in the corner. Nice, unselfish play from the point guard.
And there you see Lavelle Moten talking to his team on the other side. Mr. Skeeters will talk to his Hornets. Back with more from the Scope in just a moment. Mel Blount, the former NFL Pittsburgh Steeler, NFL Hall of Famer, Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Black College Football Hall of Fame, went to Southern University. But his son is the Player of the Year in the conference. Him and his wife in attendance here today to see them play. And here's North Carolina Central with some of their three-point shooting today. Of course, Mel Blount
they're shooting.
Also has a son playing football at North Carolina Central.
They are shooting 50% from the three-point line right now.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
That's amazing.
CJ has been shooting well. Blunt all the way across the court. Pull-up jumper in and out. Comes into the hands of Pete Green. Green almost lost it. Along the sideline, picks it up. Crosby down the lane, had it knocked away. But finishing up is Lucas, Ronald Lucas, sophomore out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Right place at the right time with Lucas.
No shot. Meanwhile, at the free throw line for North Carolina Central, Ty Graves. Transferred from St. Louis. Didn't play last year after transferring. Started his career actually at Boston College.
Right, at Boston College.
As a freshman.
And he's had an outstanding high school career in Greensboro.
78% free throw shooter. Had a 14-point high against Louisiana Tech earlier this year. And his team leading by 25, 45-20. Crosby, nice runner. Down the lane. So Crosby not giving up. He's giving it all he has so far today. He has 8 points on 3 of 11 shooting. And he has the ball in his hands right now. Down in the corner, Pete Green. Pete Green almost loses it. Gets it on the floor, back out to Crosby, and he'll set things up. Trying to post up down low is Janetto. Janetto going against Ayate. Left-hander is good.
Nice move that time by Janetto. Gathered himself, found a comfort level. Little baby jump hook.
From the corner, Graves in and out. Crosby now with the ball into the front court. They had the numbers, but Carter fumbled the ball a little bit there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Now he's trapped along the baseline and gets it back out. Janetto, long jumper, good. It's a three.
Big fella. Working out on the perimeter that time.
So now with the lead starting to dwindle a little bit, Lavelle Moten wants to settle things down. They had a big lead. Now it's down to 18. They led by as many as 25, 41-16.
That's a veteran move right there by Coach Moten. He's not waiting for the TV timeout. He wants to stop this run right now as far as the run that Delaware State is making. That made basket to give the Hornets a chance to set up in a 1-2-2 full court trap.
This is going to be a 10-second violation. Yep.
Hornets got a chance to cut into it even further. The bucket here.
An 11-4 run since it was a big deficit as Gross gets that basket to fall.
That's just toughness right there.
16-point game right now. Blunt in and out. Carter with the rebound. Carter into the front court, being trapped, and they're going to call a tie-up, and it's going to be Central's ball.
That's a big tie-up because it gives Delaware State had a little momentum. Another basket here would have been got it down to 14.
Yeah. So you have to take advantage of those situations.
Without a question.
You can't be too anxious. You got to play within your limits.
Right. Play with poise and patience.
1 minute left in the half. 16-point game. Player control foul. That'll moving screen.
Good call by Jackie Bordeaux.
Yeah, Frankie got that call right.
Blunt didn't like it, but it was the correct call.
And he goes to the sideline, picking up the foul for North Carolina Central, his second.
Good coaching move right there to get him out of the game.
Crosby has it blocked inside. Getting a hand on it was Fennell. .35 seconds left in the half. From three-point range, in and out. Crosby coming down with it. Crosby taking it all the way across from the corner. Yes! It falls that time for Pete Green.
Big shot by the freshman.
And a steal by Crosby almost. 0.7 of a second is the time remaining. 45-32.
Actually got it down to 13. And now going into halftime, Coach Skeeter can talk about the momentum in the first 5 minutes of the second half. What you don't want to do right now is allow the Eagles to score under any circumstance. That's a great coaching move. Put the big fella on the ball out of bounds.
He certainly did.
Exactly.
He put Sodom, the 7'3" guy, on the inbounder. That's Perkins inbounding the ball.
Whoa, it was close.
Almost went in, didn't it?
It was close.
With 0.7 of a second. But we're at halftime. 45-32 is our score. Delaware State trailed by as many as 25 points. But since that time, it's been a pretty good run. A 16-4 run by the Hornets. Back with halftime activities from the Scope in a moment. We're at halftime here. 45-32 is our score. North Carolina Central with a 13-point advantage over the Hornets of Delaware State. I'm joined by the Chancellor of North Carolina Central University, Dr. Johnson McKinley. And it's always good seeing you, Doc. First of all, your team's doing pretty well. They came in as the #1 seed in this tournament. But Delaware State's not going away, are they?
They're not, but we're up for a good fight.
You're up for a good fight.
Good fight.
Let's talk about some of the things that are very positive and happening in Durham, North Carolina on your campus. You've done a great job as far as expansion is concerned, new buildings and things of this nature. Talk a little bit about how that has progressed.
Well, thank you so much. It's always a great opportunity to speak with you and to have a moment to reflect. At North Carolina Central University, we are trying to raise the bar. We are moving our institution to the next level. Right now, we are a master's comprehensive institution. Our goal is to become a research-intensive institution. And therefore, we've put together a strategic plan, 2019 to 2024. And this strategic plan is going to direct us in the next 5 years. How we teach, what our students do, what's our position in the marketplace, how we educate our students. This plan is going to do that. And the plan covers 4 areas: student access and student success. That's number 1. And of course, we have innovation, research, and entrepreneurship. We want to emphasize that. And of course, collaboration and partnership. We need to expand our partnership in the research triangle area, and then collaborate with community colleges. And of course, lastly, we want to be sure that we educate and produce leaders.
Right.
We want to make sure that when the students come to us, they are engaged and they develop the international and global skills that would allow them to be able to operate at all levels. So that's what we're doing in terms of the academic program.
When you're talking about being in the research triangle area, what kind of a windfall has that been for the university?
That's been very good for us. As you well know, we have 2 research institutes on our campus. People think that NCCU is a liberal arts institution. We are liberal arts, but we are also heavy into research. Last year alone, we brought in $33.1 million in sponsored research. With 2 research institutes, we are heavy into health disparities. We do research on diseases that disproportionately affect people of color. And of course, our students and our faculty collaborate in the lab to engage in this type of research. Cancer research, cardiometabolic diseases, type 2 diabetes. We do all those of research. And of course, in Bright, we also do drug discovery and drug manufacturing for all of the biopharm and the biotech industries in the North Carolina area. So we are heavy into research as well as academic programs.
How, with the financial struggles that HBCUs are going through, how has North Carolina Central been able to overcome some of those obstacles?
Well, we've for one thing, we are trying to be a good steward of what we have. And we look at internal, operations and try to strengthen that. We try to not have too many duplications. We try to avoid waste. And as well as making sure that, we're efficient with all of the resources that we have. And on top of that, we try to grow our enrollment. Enrollment is key. We are a tuition-driven institution, so we try to grow our enrollment by expanding our academic portfolio. We bring in new programs in. We just started a degree program in clinical research, in cybersecurity, translational studies. So we are doing so much to expand our program and to bring in students who naturally would not come to us. Another area where we're growing our enrollment in is by expanding online. We've developed a robust platform online where students who are interested in coming to NCCU would have access online without having to set foot on our campus. Right now we have about 1,000 students who are fully registered online. So we're looking at all of the areas by which we can grow our student body.
And one of the things I was going to say, you've done a great job of expanding that. That's something that's very hard to do. One of the things that also helps with expansion is success in the athletic arena.
Yes.
And that has helped you tremendously.
No question about it. I mean, we have the best athletic program that you can find, not just in MEAC, across the world. Our student athletes are the best. They're not only just good on the court or the football field, or they are also good in the classroom. They are exceptional students. We have students now from all over the world, from Europe, from South America, from Africa, from South Africa, on all of our teams. So we've used our athletics program to create a brand that has helped us to really grow, our student body and to showcase the type of programs that we have on our campus as well. So the athletic program is good for us.
With what's happening in the world with the coronavirus, how have you addressed that as far as your campus is concerned? I know some schools are shutting down classes for a while. I was talking to the athletic director at Morgan State. They had told their students who go on spring break next week, don't come back till 2 weeks after spring break. Have you addressed that with your campus?
Yes, in fact, we do. We are part of the UNC system. 17 campuses. This afternoon, we've just had a meeting with the UNC system, and we've decided to extend the spring break by another week. We're currently on spring break right now, so students will not come back to campus until the 23rd of March. And when they come back, we are moving everything online so that we would avoid large gatherings where people can come in contact with each other. And any student who's experiencing any symptoms who may stay at home, we will also provide instructional access for them through online instruction. So we are going these day by day and watching. We've imposed travel restrictions, and we're following the state, we're following, the CDC. And so, but for now, we've not totally shut down the school. We're moving instructions online, and we're asking students to avoid large congregations, and we're canceling all large events on our campuses.
Well, that's very important that happens in terms of keeping everybody together, and
Right.
and much success to you. And we just heard today that the NCAA has come up with championship events. They don't want large crowds. They just want essential personnel to be there.
Exactly. Well, and I think it's a prudent decision. We need to try to make sure that we curtail the contamination, and we don't know to what extent this stuff might go. So it's better for us to take precautions.
All right, Dr.
Thank you so much.
Johnson O'Kenley, it's always great.
Always a pleasure to see
And
you.
your team leading by 13. I know you're hoping they can keep it up here in the second half.
We are the champions, and we'll continue to be the champions.
Back with more from the Scope in Norfolk
Thank you.
in just a moment.
Thank you.
We're at the Scope in Norfolk. We're at halftime of a 13-point game where points.
And they get the ball on this first possession.
To start the second half.
Exactly. You see what kind of play set Coach Skeetus has called for this first play to start the second half.
Delaware State actually won the rebound war in the first half. They 26-21. And there's a turnover.
And that's what you didn't need.
Travel.
And the Delaware State guards got to pop hard to the ball. You can't Hollywood trot. You got to, when you're being denied, you got to pop hard and seal.
That was Nick Fennell credited with that turnover that time. This North Carolina Central team started play in the MEAC 3-1, 3-2, then won 10 of their last 11 games. Brunt with the rebound.
Good ball fake that time by Pinky Wiley. Just didn't make the shot.
We talked about Jabri Blunt, who's the player of the year. His dad, Mel Blunt, in attendance, has a brother that's on the football team, Khalid. Defensive lineman. In fact, he was the number 3 scorer on the team last year. Averaged 11 points per game. Double figures in all but 3 games this year. And he's been kind of quiet so far in this contest.
Yes.
Perkins inside for 2.
Perkins is having his coming out party on the offensive end today.
He certainly is. And the trap pull up for Crosby. In and out. Blunt with the rebound.
If I'm Coach Skeetus, this is what you don't want. You had a chance to get the ball at half. You could possibly have scored and cut it to 11. If you hit a 3-point play, you cut it to 10. But you don't culminate, and now you're down 15 with Watley going to the free throw line. Take it right back up to 17. That's what makes coming back such a difficult task. You've got to play perfect.
So a 4-0 run to start the second half by North Carolina Central. And the lead is 17 now. They had cut it down to 13.
Right.
And that's a nice move inside by Pete Green.
Nice composure that time. Didn't lose. Didn't try to rush the shot. Played almost like a C.J. Williams that time, right? Right within his wheelhouse.
4 points. And a hand-checking foul is going to be whistled against Delaware State's Fahim Janetto.
That's that ISO action right there that they utilize. Blunt. They clear the side, bring him to the elbow, get it to him now. He's got that whole side to work.
And they get it into him, going down against Janetto. Lost the ball out of bounds, lost it off his leg. He looked like he could have been a football player himself, doesn't he? He's listed as 6'6". Crosby backs it off, goes down the lane, dishes it out to the corner. The 3 ball is good. Off of the hands of Janetto. He's hit a couple threes today.
It's the second one for the day.
And the lead is just 12. Wide open underneath. They made that look easily with Justin Watley.
Miscommunication on defense that last time by the Hornets.
Watley made it look like, hey, I've been here all day. What are you waiting on? Get me the ball.
Finally.
Down the lane, Pete Green, yes.
Green is gaining a little confidence on the offensive end, getting to that little sweet spot. 2 in a row right there.
Blunt spins, puts it up. No good. Defensive board, almost a turnover. And they get it to Crosby. Crosby goes in for 2. It's a 10-point game.
Good recovery by the Hornets.
We've seen one upset today of a #1 seeded team. The only difference was UMES led throughout the game. In this one, sometimes you use a lot of energy getting back in the game as Blunt goes in for 2.
Excellent basketball on a give and go with Jordan Perkins, who's having an outstanding game today. Nice little pocket pass to Blunt. Got fouled on the play.
What impressed me about that was he saw the defense coming, the contact coming, and he was able to delay up in the air.
Right.
Watch.
Right there.
Yeah.
Get a chance to get a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Trying to make it a 13-point game. He does with 17 minutes to go. Jabri Blunt.
The Eagles have backed off of the full-court pressure right now.
Gross from behind. Gross again. Can't get it to go. They're going to call a foul on the floor. They're going to call that one on C.J. Kaiser. Now, a lot of people might think that Janetto went over the bat, but he wasn't. He was actually up in the air, had the ball. When he came down, Janetto backed into it.
Backed into his legs.
Correction, Janetto was the man who had the ball, I should say. And then the defender, that was Kaiser, backed into it.
The Eagles might be getting into a little foul trouble here in the second half. Another foul.
And this one is going to be whistled against Justin Watley, who's coming out right now.
That's 3 in a row on this end.
And Nick Fennell will come back in for North Carolina Central. 16:43 to time remaining.
Fennell had 7 points off the bench. Well, actually, he started.
13-point game. And we're going to call a moving pick or a hold.
You got to be stationary and come to a complete stop on the screens. That's something that the officials are emphasizing.
All the way across the court. Jordan Perkins now running the offense. A little weave action with Kaiser. And Kaiser goes down the lane. They're going to call it outside before the shot. That will be the 4th team foul against North Carolina Central. Correct? Yeah, against North Carolina Central. Delaware State, you were talking earlier, they have 16
they have 6
fouls.
Right. Mm-hmm. Central got all theirs in that one little sequence.
Blunt with 8 points.
Now they're in the 1-and-1. 16 minutes to go.
This is going against Gross for Delaware State. Trey Gross, junior out of Annapolis High in Annapolis, Maryland. Jabri Blunt at the free throw line. 8 points for him today. Can get another double-figure contest. And he's done it quietly.
And he's been perfect at the line. 6 rebounds, but 4 for 4. 5 for 5 now from the charity stripe. Shot looks really good.
When these two teams played earlier, he had a 33-point game. So he's
capable.
He's capable, and they know he is.
Right.
Because it happened against them.
Yeah.
From the corner, Janetto. Gross inside, turns, puts it up, won't fall. That's a 2.
Nice mid-range jump shot that time by Graves.
Ty Graves out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Lead back up to 17.
Crosby. Wrap around pass to Gross. Gross couldn't control it. Gets it ahead. to Blunt, and he blew it on the line. Blunt was trying to get control of that pass.
Trying to be a wide receiver that last time.
He needed to gross on that end, didn't he? 15:06. That's the time remaining here in regulation, and a 17-point lead for the Eagles of North Carolina Central.
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Along with Cy Alexander, Charlie Neal here at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. MEAC Basketball on FloHoops, and Eric Skeeter's first head coaching job. You were in that boat at one time when you got your first head coaching job after being an assistant for many years at Howard University. What did it mean when that happened?
I tell you what, you're excited and you're a little nervous too, all at the same time, because what happened with me when I was offered the head coaching job at South Carolina State, I was offered an assistant's job with Leonard Hamilton at Oklahoma State, and I was torn between what I wanted to do, but after having been an assistant for 11 years, I wanted to try to see if I could run my own program.
Well, you always want to run your own program, as Carter hit that 3-ball from the corner for Maryland Eastern Shore.
It's a big basket to cut it back to 14. Now the Hornets trying a little 1-3-1. Didn't play it very well that time. Left too many gaps as Fennell, I think, tacked the basket that last time and got fouled. He's having an excellent game for the Eagles. 7 points, 2 for 2, 1 for 1, and 2 for 2 from the line.
Yeah, he's at the line once again. We talked about Eric Skeeters. He was an assistant at UMBC. He was on a team that upset Virginia in the NCAA tournament back in 2018. He was an assistant there. Also an assistant at George Mason, South Florida, Towson, Virginia Tech, Youngstown State. Assistant at Coppin State in 1997 on the team that upset South Carolina in the NCAA tournament.
That's when I first got to know Coach Skeeters. He worked for the legendary Fang Mitchell.
Yeah, he was and he graduated from Coppin State. So you have coaches that are coaching at their alma maters right now on the other side of the Bell Moton. They called him Poetry in Motion when he was playing at North Carolina Central. He was inducted into the CIAA Hall of Fame just 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
This is his 4th regular season title as the head coach in his 11th year. In the corner, the jumper is good.
North Carolina
Give it to
Central.
Ty Graves.
When Graves, Kaiser, and Perkins and Fennell are making their outside shots, they are a tough team to beat, because you know you got to stop Blunt. When you got all those other weapons going against you, they're hard to defend.
As you look at Coach Lavelle Moton, this is his 4th regular season title in the last 7 years. He won 28 games in 2014, has had 4 20-win years. And when he was playing, he played on 3 Southern Division championship teams. 4 years he played in the professional leagues in Indonesia and Israel. And his team, when he played, won the Division II title. That was back in 1989. He graduated in 1996 with 1,714 career points.
Tell you what, that tells me he's a winner.
Yeah.
Not only is he a winner on the court, he's a winner in life. Does a lot in the community here in, well, not here in Durham, but in Durham.
Well, you know, they just recently had a park named after him.
Right, exactly.
In Raleigh, North Carolina, where he grew up.
Right.
It's called Lavelle Moton Park. It was originally called the Lane Street Mini Park, but his mom would not let him play there. She said it was just too bad.
Right.
Bad things were going to happen if you went down there. They would not let him go and play, and he would sneak down there and play anyhow. But anyway, so as it turned out, because of his commitment to the community and active in those type of situations. The city of Raleigh, North Carolina, named the park, which was formerly Lane Street Mini Park, is now called Lavelle Moton Park.
What a tribute to a great person and a great coach.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, the MEAC Hall of Fame will be conducted tomorrow at the Sheridan, Norfolk Waterside, 9:30 in the morning. Quinn Gray, quarterback from Florida A&M, will be inducted. Connell Maynor, quarterback from North Carolina A&T, as is Chris McNeil from North Carolina A&T. Alvin Wyatt, former coach, men and men's football, women's, well, of course, football for men, and women's basketball coach. He's going in. And Jana Millen from Maryland Eastern Shore, she was a volleyball star at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. She's going in. She won't be able to make it because she lives in Croatia. That's where she's from originally. And because of the travel restrictions and going through Italy, because Croatia sits right on the border of Italy, she was not going to be able to travel. And if she did, they weren't going to let her into the country. So you may as well stay home if you can't get into where you're coming to for an award.
This has been a well-played game. Both teams in the single digits as far as, well, actually Delaware State has 10, but that's not that many as far as the pace of the game. And the Eagles only have 8. The next 4 minutes between now and the 8-minute mark are going to be very crucial for the Hornets to get this a manageable game.
One thing you said before we went to the break at halftime was Coach Skeeters needed to get the game under control in the first 5 minutes.
Right.
Do you feel that's happened?
No. You still got the 16 points.
Well, in the first 5 minutes, though.
Well, he did in the first 5 minutes, but the last 3, it's gotten back out of control.
Then it went away.
Right, then it went away. You got to keep it there.
I understand. I just wanted to make sure I had it right. I thought they were doing something right for a while.
But then they let it get back out of control. So that's why I'm saying the next 5 to try to get it down to somewhere under 10 by the 8-minute mark. And now you got a shot. Big
From the
shot
corner.
here would be huge. Great rebound that time.
And one, scored a basket. That'll be Lucas going to the line.
Great effort that time by Ronald Lucas.
What was impressive about that whole segment was watching Saddam, the 7'3" guy, trying to set up screens and picks for his teammates.
Right. And the effort that Lucas gave, he came from the weak side wing to get that offensive rebound. You call that rebounding out of your area.
All the way across court that comes to Perkins. Back over to CJ. Along CJ. He'll take the 3. It's good.
It's hard to
CJ Kaiser.
Exactly. When Kaiser and Graves are making three-point shots and Perkins is getting them involved, he's not trying to do too much. I've seen games where Jordan Perkins, he has skills, but sometimes he'll try to do a little bit too much. Tonight, he is playing a perfect game. Nice big-time grown man move that time by Crosby. A little back down.
4 players for North Carolina Central in double figures. Blunt with 10. Also with 10 is Graves. Perkins with 13 points. And Kaiser with 14 points. That's production. There's a 3 that won't fall there this time.
And that defense was a great defense that time because you got a giant in the middle right there to clog up the middle. And they played it really well that time.
Along with Cy Alexander back here at the Scope in Norfolk, one of the things we were looking at here, we talked about Jabri Blunt being the player of the year. He has 10 points, but not a good shooting night for him, 2 of 10. But you look at some other people in double figures, like Perkins, who has 13 points. He's 6 of 7 from the field. Also with double figures is Graves. He's 3 of 8 with 10 points. And C.J. Kaiser with 14 points, 5 of 7.
Exactly.
So they've had better shooting nights overall.
Exactly. And you look at the type of game that Jordan Perkins is having, Charlie, he has obviously the 13 points on 6 of 7 shooting, 6 assists, and 0 turnovers.
Hey, that's getting it done.
That's getting it done. And sometimes Jordan can be a turnover machine. This is a good defense with Saddam in the middle. He takes up a lot of airspace.
Perkins is not in the lineup right now for North Carolina Central. Blunt shot, and he'll go to the line. Foul by Saddam.
And that's what he needs to do versus Saddam is just attack, because he's not agile enough to stop him from going to the basket.
I don't think it was Saddam who drew the foul. It was Lucas.
Okay.
Ronald Lucas drew the foul that time. That was his first.
And Blunt is perfect from the line now, 7 for 7 with 7 rebounds. Got a chance for a double-double.
Again, he hasn't been shooting well, but at the free throw line where it counts,
right,
that's all that matters.
Right. He's perfect. Had a steady performance from the player of the year in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Crosby on the corner. 3-ball falls that time for Wiley. Pinky Wiley.
Nice penetration and pitch that time by Crosby to Wiley, and he delivered on the 3-ball.
They're going to call a tie-up. Possession arrow favors the Eagles of North Carolina Central.
Again, the under 8 timeout. Can you get it to single digits by that point? You're down 14 right now.
The Achilles heel for Delaware State right now is they have 9 team fouls.
Yeah, that's huge.
Crosby along with Saddam battling for the rebound. Saddam, a little taller, came down with it.
Slightly.
It says only 4 fouls against North Carolina Central team-wise.
Right.
So Delaware State with 9 team fouls. It's a 2-shot bonus the rest of the way.
For Central.
For North Carolina Central, correct.
That's huge. That is huge. Because now, if you're Coach Moten, you're telling the guys, don't settle for jump shots. Attack the rim to see if you can create some foul situations. Central is shooting 94%, Charlie, from the free throw line.
Means they haven't missed many.
That's what that means. Ronald Lucas is very active on the defensive end.
Crosby has not missed at the free throw line tonight for Delaware State. He has 16 points. Turn around. Whoa! The 7'3" Saddam sent that one back down the floor.
Big offensive possession for the Hornets.
Crosby thought about the 3, changed his mind. We're midway through the second half. He'll take the 3 from NBA range this time. Offensive rebound and hands in there. Good job. And count it. And that'll be Carter going to the free throw line.
Tough play that time by Miles Carter.
Justin Watley picks up the foul.
He gives you maximum effort every time he's on the floor.
So Miles Carter junior out of Palumbo High in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, tries to complete the three-point play, but unable to.
But it's at 10.
It's a 10-point ball game.
Had he made that, it would have been cut
Single
to single
digits. Yeah, that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
That gives you a chance. And we still got 9.5 minutes to play.
Makes it manageable. And I like this defense.
And there's a turnover. Crosby, they can cut it to single digits. And they're going to send Crosby to the free throw line.
He's playing downhill, attacking at every opportunity.
I'll tell you, I like what Saddam has done since he's come in the game.
That defense.
Not only that, but even on the offensive end, he set a pretty good pick down there.
Right just then. But he takes up a lot of space in that middle, in that 2-3 zone.
Not a wide body, but he's a tall body.
Yeah, but he's a tall body.
Both free throws are made, and it's an 8-point ball game. 67-59.
A little pressure, a lot of effort. See him drop back in the 2-3 zone.
It's a 13-point lead for North Carolina Central at the half. This is a 3-point. But see, this is what kills him. You get this guy, Kaiser, who continually is shooting out of his mind.
Out of his mind, man. That's a dagger. Let's see if we can get an answer.
And this time it'll be Carter going to the line.
And I think the offensive strategy that Coach Skeeters has instructed is to attack off the bounce to see if you can get to the line. They've done that the last 4 possessions, and of those 4, they've either made a 3-point shot or gotten fouled.
Fennell with that last foul. We talk about people in foul trouble. Watley has 4. Fennell has 3 for North Carolina Central. Just one player, that's Pete Green, with 3 fouls for Delaware State.
And he changed that shot just then, just him being there for Fennell. The big fella did, I'm talking.
Right, so Skeeters done a good job, and there's a turnover, a steal. The easy lay-in with the left hand that time from Jordan Perkins.
Great hustle that time by Miles Carter.
Big fella's battling in there, isn't
He is.
Making you change your mind.
Change your attitude. He is a giant.
Sound like Aretha Franklin. I got a new attitude.
R-E-S-P-S-T. Respect.
But you got to spell it right.
I know it. Man. I thought about it. I said, yeah, I screwed that up.
Oh, man. We got to have fun.
Yep.
There's Perkins at the line.
Good job, big fella. Getting the rest.
Very good job. Off the bench with the 7'3" young man. Second shot is good. He makes 1 of 2. The lead is 12 again. Here's a timeout on the floor. 8 minutes exactly is the time remaining. 73-61 is our score. Lavelle Moton's squad. They came out on fire early on, but they've let this Delaware State team hang around.
It's been grinding, and they keep grinding, and they're getting it done from a defensive standpoint, and they're attacking the rim off the bounce, playing downhill.
At North North Carolina Central University. We are a first choice premier institution.
Back here at the scope in Norfolk, 8-point, make that a 12-point game. North Carolina Central, the top seed, has not been able to put the Hornets of Delaware State, the number 8 seed, away. They lead it by 12. They led by 13 at the half.
Give credit to the Delaware State Hornets. They keep battling, but the Eagles showing the eye of the tiger. They just, they'll let them get close, but then they'll take it right back up. That's what's so difficult about making a comeback. You almost got to play perfect.
Earlier today on the women's side, Maryland Eastern Shore upset the number 1 seed, Bethune-Cookman. They advanced to the Friday semifinal action, while Norfolk State knocked off Howard University to advance to the semifinals on Friday. The winner of this game will be in the semifinals, and they'll play the winner of tomorrow's matchup between Bethune-Cookman and Morgan State University.
Had a chance to talk to the athletics director at Norfolk State and at halftime, and he said that's the best he's seen his girls play all year.
Marty Miller.
Yep, getting ready to retire, I think.
Well, no, he changed. No, he's not. No, he was thinking about it. They have a new president just came in.
Okay.
And now he's moving up from the athletic director spot. As we see the jumper from C.J. Kaiser.
Killer.
He's moving up from the athletic director spot up into her office.
Oh, okay.
And she's kind of convinced him to stay on and do
Great.
that. Now they have a search committee looking for a new athletic director.
Okay. But he's not going to be the athletic director.
No. He's still holding that title right now until they find somebody else. And this foul is going to be whistled against Jordan Perkins.
And the technical foul has been called on somebody. Mr. Bordeaux. I don't know who it's on. Let's see.
21. Is that?
That's the big fella.
Or 31? Let me see.
Let's see.
I'm not sure what has happened here because we're getting all kinds of mixed fingers. Your fingers going everywhere. So I guess the technical foul was called against Delaware State. That'll send C.J. Kaiser to the free throw line to shoot the technicals. After that, then they'll go down the other end and deal with the situation on Delaware State's end of the floor. One more for C.J. He said, "Oh, I have 2." He was happy with 1.
Right.
20 points. Make it 21 for Kaiser.
7 for 9 from the field. 6 of 7.
That's 20.
The 3-point line.
22 points for Kaiser. So it's 78 to 61. It's back up to 17 now. And Delaware State will go to the line also. Fahim Janetto to try to finish their play. He has 8 points. Misses that one. 2 of 6 from the stripe today.
And that's the difference right now. They go to the line with 2 shots. Miss the first one.
Makes the second.
Central makes both.
And a turnover on the inbounds that gives Delaware State the ball back under their own basket.
North Carolina Central has done a great job tonight defending the baseline out of bounds plays for Del State.
Nice move inside by Carter after the rebound by Saddam.
Nice finish that time. And a crowd.
14-point game, 6:45 the time remaining. We're in regulation here at the Scope in Norfolk. First of 2 games this evening on the men's side. Little baby hook by Jabri Blunt, who's been quiet for the most part. Crosby. They'll start it all over with the new shot clock. You like the new rule with the 20-second reset?
Yes.
Rather than if you get the ball on the offensive end, rather than going back to 30 seconds, they reset it to 20.
I like that because it kind of makes you play and doesn't use up, another 35 seconds.
One of the rules I would like to see them change is the closely guarded. Defensively, what difference does it make? If you got this 20-second rule on the offensive, you've got the 30-second rule. You can't do the four corners like Dean Smith.
Right. You got to play.
You got to play.
Bill Ford made a living on that four corners. Smith.
1 of 2.
15-point lead.
6:05 to go. Here's Kaiser down the lane, and they're going to call a travel or a turnover. He said when he drove down the lane, he palmed it. Had too much height on the ball that time. Carter to inbound it. And we talk about Kaiser coming here from Wichita State. Spent 2 years there at Wichita State. He was fouled. They're going to call it foul. Oh.
And, Jackie Bordeaux, thank you, Bordeaux. Thought he had another call, but
coach is having a conniption over on the sideline.
He's saying he swallowed his whistle.
I would swallow it, and if he stays on there, I would throw him out right now. It's time to leave the. It's time to.
He's got to be careful because
no, he would have been gone.
No, it was you. Yeah.
If I was a
he'd be taking an early shower, huh?
No, he'd be in the shower by now. I mean, they gave him all the chance in the world, and he ran all the way across there. And then when he was going to the table, he came out some more. That's the time to see you. You give him all the rope you can.
And he was so upset because he felt like Mr. Bordeaux might have been getting ready to call a foul, and he was overruled on the officiating deal.
So 82-65.
Time becomes
very critical. Under 5.5.
Exactly.
But as a coach, you've got to fight for your team.
Yeah, right.
Regardless of whether you're right or wrong, you got to let them know you're in their corner. That 3 ball doesn't fall, and C.J. Kaiser pulls down the rebound. They're slowing it up. Under 5 minutes to go. Perkins running the offense right now. Working against Pete Green and Crosby. Went off the hands of Nick Fennell.
This is a big possession offensively right now for the Hornets.
But they're down 17 with 4:43 to go.
Every possession counts now.
Remember, they had cut it to single digits, but there's a turnover. It spun right into Palmer. And Palmer count the basket and one. And the foul will be whistled against Pete Green.
And if you're going to foul,
go ahead.
You can't let him make that basket right here.
Here's the steal.
And this is the inexperienced play right there. If you're going to foul, you can't let him. You got to get him before his hands get up. So nothing illegal, but don't let him get the shot off. You let him get dunked on and foul.
Right.
Posterized.
That's double jeopardy.
Right. I got to call Cliff. Tell him, man, your son got posterized tonight.
At the other end, it'll be Fennell picking up the foul. those things happen.
Now it's back up to 19.
Just like that.
Just like that. And we just talked about it, and they had a turnover on the possession and a dunk.
You remember, it was a 13-point game at the half after being up by 24 at one point in the first half. Delaware State went on a run to cut it down to 13 at the half, and they had it in the single digits here in the second half, but now they've started to pull away once again.
That's just what we were talking about when you asked me early on, did they get it done? Yeah, they got it done, and then they didn't get it done.
Right.
And it's kind of seesawing back and forth the whole second half.
Yeah, it was an 8-point game, 73-61 at one point. But since that time, it's been a 11-4 run.
And it's hard to beat. There's the replay again on the foul by Omari Pete Green in the throwdown by who did that? CJ. But the point I was about to make is that North Carolina Central will be tough to beat in this tournament if Kaiser and Graves and Perkins continue to play from the perimeter
the way they've
played tonight.
I mean, they were hitting some threes like you wouldn't believe.
Right.
You know, they were unconscionable from three-point range tonight. I mean, that was interesting. They're 10 of 22 from the field.
Right.
That's just under 50%.
It's 45, 46% from the three line.
Discussion on the officials.
Change or something?
I'm not sure.
Blunt wears 2, but it looks like he has a different. Did he put on a different jersey?
Maybe something happened. Maybe they had some issues with.
Now he's in 11.
Yeah, he's wearing number 11 now, which normally is worn by Randy Miller. Randy must not be coming in. I hope we don't see 2 11s in here.
I think Randy gonna get no time tonight.
Might be a 7-11.
Oh man.
85-67. More. Under 4 minutes to go. Crosby continues to play hard.
Dom's got to grab that one.
He's got to grab it. Yeah, you can't bounce it up in the air.
Got to grab it clean. A nice showtime dribble by Perkins.
Reverses it back out. Being guarded by Crosby out high near the half-court line. The only thing he didn't do was finish. He did everything else. He did the show, didn't he, Jordan Perkins?
Curly Neal action that time.
Steal by Blunt.
Steal by Blunt. As Coach Moten is saying, slow it down a little bit. Time and score. Play the clock. Utilize the shot clock. Get it down to about 7 seconds before you attack.
Under 3 minutes to go. In and out. Rebound grab by Saddam.
Both teams now in the double bonus.
And they'll be shooting 2 when we come back. That foul goes against CJ. Back with more from the Scope in a moment. Right here on FloHoops, Charlie Neal, Sal Alexander, 2:38 to go. What has been North Carolina Central all the way. Don't forget, stay tuned right after this game. About 25 minutes after this one ends, we'll have Howard University taking on the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. The winner of that game will play in the semifinals on Friday against tomorrow's winner between Norfolk State and Coppin.
The upset-minded Howard Bison.
Yeah, they came up with a big win last night to get to today's action. A team that had lost, what, 15 in a row?
Yes.
Or not 15 in a row, but 15 of the 16 conference games.
Right. They were 1-15. And Miles Carter missed both free throws. That's a killer right there. You got a chance to.
And a foul.
That is a killer when you're trying to come back.
More importantly, it's a foul, and that's going to send the Eagles to the free throw line.
Get to that you didn't get.
Right. 24 points for the young man. Correction, they put the, well, originally CJ was going to the line. He says, I'm see if they're going to let me shoot. But they caught it, and now it's Palmer at the line. So Devin Palmer with his 5th point of the night.
It's the friendly roll.
Junior out of Hyde Park, Massachusetts. Played at a community college, Tallahassee Community College, where he was second team all Panhandle, where he averaged 13 points a game.
They produce some really good junior college players.
And a 3 ball that time. But it may be too little, too late. 16-point ball game right now.
Delaware State is utilizing the strategy now that the North Carolina A&T State University Aggies utilized last Thursday. Hacker Perkins. Perkins is not the greatest free throws. If actually he went 1 for 6 in the Aggies game last Thursday and almost allowed A&T to come back. So they're trying the same, and here we go again.
Well, he's 2 for 4 before that one. There's 2 for 5.
So it's a pretty good strategy if you can keep making threes and they making 1.
But he also has 17 points.
Yeah.
So he's going to elevate it.
He had a heck of a game, no doubt about it. It's the best game I've seen, and I've watched him play since he was in middle school.
Mixes them both. Hack-a-Shack, huh?
Yep.
Crosby, 3, good.
You'll see Perkins get fouled again when they come back out.
Well, 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go with a 13-point game. Remember, they got it down to 8 at one point. It was a 73-61 North Carolina Central lead. Since that time, 13-13, or 13-12 run, actually. That's where we are right now.
You'll see the Hornets set up with some type of pressure, see if they can get the first steal. If not, as soon as Perkins gets the ball, they're going to foul him.
86-73. They get it across to CJ. Not the person you want to foul.
It's not the person you want to foul.
24 points for CJ Kaiser, who's perfect,
4 for 4, right,
perfect at the line so far tonight.
That wasn't the strategy.
And the thing is, CJ Kaiser has been playing with 4 personal fouls.
Smart player on the defensive end. You wanted to guard him and make him make one more pass to Perkins, and then.
So Palmer comes out for North Carolina Central. Nicholas Fennell comes back in. Kaiser's second shot falls. 15-point lead. 88-73. Coach is really going to have a connection now. He thought that his player got elbowed in the chin. They want to look at it, though. So they're going to come over.
Yep, here they come.
And look at this last play to want to see if there's a flagrant foul with the elbow being thrown. So Everett Summers, Frankie Bordeaux will come over and look at it. Coach was very adamant that he thought the elbow swung and hit his player, Pinky Wiley.
Be interesting to see what they decide as we got a chance to watch it with them.
Well, let's look at it once again from our angle, see what we see. They've finished looking at it. See if they play it back again for us.
Okay.
So there was a flagrant, and that's going to be against Jabri Blunt, a flagrant one. They're going to shoot 2 shots.
Take the foul off of Leroy Moore.
Take the foul off of Leroy Moore and put the ball back at the point of interruption.
Right. So Moore shoots, correct?
Yes. Shooting the flagrant.
Well, actually,
they can put anybody there.
Okay. Yeah. No, they saying Moore has to.
Well, I guess the person who got fouled.
Crosby tried to pull a fast
Smart
one.
Man. Smart. You know.
What
are you supposed to do?
He tried to pull a fast one on him.
Moore has not scored tonight, but he makes the free throw.
Big free throws for Leroy Moore.
Look at the play right here. Boom, coming down, and now the swing of the right elbow above the shoulders, and that made the flagrant one.
He makes 2.
Coach Moten was arguing that the foul was called, but the flagrant overrode the foul by Moore. So they will put the ball in play. The jumper by Crosby, no good.
Big time rebound that time by Blunt.
A minute 32 to go. Ties are all the way across the floor. And they lose it out of bounds. Jordan Perkins. Almost a steal. Reverse doesn't fall. Reverse again doesn't fall for them. And a foul in the backcourt.
You had 2 reverse opportunities.
Yeah, Amir Bennett couldn't get it to fall. Moore couldn't get it to fall.
And you end up getting a foul.
It was struggling down there.
Send Blunt to the line, who's 8 for 8 today, playing with 4 personal fouls.
He also has 15 points now.
Quiet 15.
Yeah. And a lot of them came at the free throw line,
Right.
when you look at it.
12 rebounds.
Another double-double for him. And the 16th point. Player of the year. 15-point lead now with a minute to go. 90-75. Almost a steal.
That just about does it.
Well, unless you can you have a 15-point play here.
But the fat lady has sung.
And at halftime, she was gargling. she was ready.
Well, nice follow that time by Fennell.
It certainly was. 92-75. Out of bounds. $18 seconds to go. Ayate checked in for North Carolina Central, as does Mike Melvin.
Crosby is getting a chance to come out and get a hug from Coach Skeeters. He did a great job for him over the last 2 years. Young man got a chance to make money playing basketball, probably in Europe.
Young man out of Polytech High in Baltimore. Started his career at Dayton University. So Central would just dribble the ball out. 7 seconds to go. That's it. North Carolina Central advances to Friday's semifinal with a 92-75 win over the